Hi guys, welcome to another interesting episode of 100% Joy series. Let me share a story with you. So, when I finished university and I was about to go for my youth service corps, it was around the time when you couldn't influence where you would serve. For some reason, at that point in time, you can't even influence it. And I really needed to go to a place where I could spend that 3 weeks and not hate myself. So I made a prayer, like a pronouncement, and I said, I don't know where I'm going to serve, but Lord, please, I want to go to a place where there's an airport and I can fly there and fly back. That was all I asked for. And I kept speaking it, that I was going to go to a place where there was an airport. I don't know how it was going to happen, but I was going to go to a place where there's an airport. And at the end of the day, when the posting was out and we all went to check where we're posted to in the school, I found out that I was posted to Borno State. Now, Maiduguri has an airport. Now, first of all, my first reaction was like, oh my God, it's so far away. It's, somewhere on at the northern edge of the country. And I was like, oh my God, it's so far away. And then I just remembered that when I said I wanted to go to a place where there was an airport, I didn't specify where. Maybe if I specified where I wanted to go and I was more specific about how far that place was from where I lived, then I probably would have gotten maybe Abuja or the country's capital or something else. But hey, I still got somewhere that had an airport. And it kind of taught me the importance of our pronouncements and our words and the things we say and how powerful they were. When I was pregnant with my son, I lived in Lagos, and anyone who lives in Lagos or has been to Lagos knows that the traffic in Lagos is on another level. So I kept praying that the day I was going to have my son was going to be a day where there won't be traffic and I'll be able to make it to the hospital on time, because my house was a distance from the hospital. And true to my words, I kept speaking it every day. I went into labor 2:30 a.m. on Sunday morning. And everybody knows that Sunday morning can be, a good time to take a drive in Lagos in the morning, because everybody's in church or at home, resting. And I left home about 7:30 in the morning and drove to the hospital with no traffic, no hitches on the way. And I got there, just in time. And I checked in and had my baby, later that day. Anyway, what am I saying? I'm saying that the words we speak create our reality. And there's so much power in our words, but we don't know. We just speak. We don't, we don't even weigh what we say. We don't even know the gravity of the words that come out of our mouths. But our words create our reality. That's a fact. When we come back, we're going to look at how powerful words are. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So how powerful are words? Very powerful. They're very potent. They are spells that we cast. Like when a magician casts spells, they use words. They're like spells we cast, and they always go out to carry out whatever command we have given them. So if you're one of those people who just use words carelessly, it's time for you to rethink. Growing up, people used to say stuff like, I'm crazy. I'm crazy. And it was supposed to be vogue. It was supposed to be a cute thing to say about yourself. But how do you tell yourself, I'm crazy? I'm crazy. So don't be surprised when you start dealing with mental health issues, because you've always called yourself crazy. I read a story once about this lady who kept telling herself that she wasn't lucky with relationships. She kept saying she wasn't lucky with relationships. And she went through life getting the short end of the stick each time she was in a relationship, until she figured out that it was her words that was creating that reality, and she decided to change and flip what she was saying to herself. So many times we find ourselves in the predicaments we find ourselves because of the words that we speak. Because when we speak words, they travel. We send them on missions, and they don't come back until they accomplish that vision. The world was created on words. All God did was speak, and it came to be. Whatever he spoke became. That's the same way we as human beings operate, because we're made in God's likeness. We are also creators. Whatever we speak becomes. So whatever you say becomes. Have you thought of times when you've wanted something so bad and you kept talking about it, that this is what you want and this is what it's going to be, and you were really resilient about it, and it happened? Have you ever thought of how you have talked about something so much and the next thing it appears and you're thinking, oh, what a coincidence? It's not a coincidence. You spoke it into your reality. So whatever reality you're dealing with right now in your life, you spoke it into reality. Not your village people, not your enemies. Nobody else spoke them, but you spoke them into being. And that's why the flip side is, it's very important for you also to be careful what people speak into your life. Sometimes people speak negative words into our lives and we don't refute it, we just accept it. And before you know it, it begins to take form. Why? Because you received it, maybe out of fear. You even started dwelling on it and thinking, oh, maybe this is true, maybe this is who I am. Like, the children who grow up in abusive homes, and every day the parents tell them things like, you're good for nothing, you won't amount to anything, you're useless, you're this. And then those words, you hear them every day, they become part of you, and then you grow up believing that that is who you are. It is why a lot of people are dealing with self-esteem issues. It's why a lot of people are dealing with the absence of self-love. It's why a lot of people are dealing with addictions, because it's a form of escaping their reality. It's the reason why a lot of people are making wrong choices, because hey, the person I respect and adore most in my life has told me that this is who I am. So I can't even be any better. So words are very strong. When you speak the words that are not positive, are not growing you, are not helping you, are not, meant to make you better, you need to take them back. When people speak words that are negative into your life, you must refute it immediately. I've had friends who jokingly go like, you're a useless girl. And immediately I say, no, I'm a useful person. And we're joking. And they go like, oh no, I was joking. I say, no, I know you're joking. But you see, nature doesn't know jokes. The vibrations do not know jokes. Anything you say, as long as it has come out of your mouth and it has gone out there, you've sent it to work. So most times when people crack jokes with me and go, call me names, I refute it and replace it with names that I want to be called. Even when I'm out with my son and maybe he's playing with a friend and I hear them, talk from a distance, and maybe the friend says, something to him that is derogatory or is negative, I refute it from where I'm sitting. And I tell him to do the same with a smile, because I know that those words will go a long way if you keep letting them sink in and seep in. It's like water seeping into your boat, and after a while, that boat is going to sink. Your words are really powerful. The world was created on words. It exists on words. And that's how it has been. That's how it will always be. Your life exists on words. And that is why it is important for you to say the right words and speak the right words about yourself. And it's also important to be careful what you let into your life. When we come back, let's look at how we can use our words to improve our lives. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Welcome back. So how can you use your words to improve your life? How can you create the reality you desire with your words? One of the things I did when I discovered that my words were creating my reality, amongst other things, was learning to say positive affirmations to myself every morning and every night before I go to bed. Because it took me years to learn negative self-talk. So it's not going to go overnight, because now I'm speaking positive words to myself. I needed to practice and make it a way of life, to do it until it becomes a part of me. And that was what I did. Every morning, I will say affirmations to myself. Sometimes I'll read books about affirmations. I'll go online, look for affirmations, take the ones I want, put them, write them out in my journal. And I wake up in the morning, after I pray, I say those affirmations to myself. I am beautiful, I am blessed, I am victorious, I'm talented, I'm intelligent, I'm worthy. I say those affirmations to myself. And then at night, that's the last thing I do before I go to bed. Then I took it a step further and started speaking what I wanted to see into existence. So I will call forth the things that I want to see in my life, regardless of what my situation was. It was really tough at first because, you're seeing a different situation and you're calling forth something else. And then you're thinking to yourself, how will my words just bring these things to be? But when I went through the world's creation again in Genesis, in the Bible, and I saw how God spoke with confidence and with ease, and everything he said happened, I learned to speak without fear, with confidence and with ease, believing that what I'm speaking, I'm already seeing. So I started visualizing those things. So when I speak it, I make sure that I see it in my mind, because I know that once I can see it in my mind and speak it, then it will eventually become my reality. But when I do it, I don't dwell on it. I let it go because I've spoken it, and I make sure I do not do anything or say anything that will go contrary to what I have spoken. And in time, I have seen those dreams happen. Now, I always write down the things that I want and the things that I speak into being. One of the things I've noticed is that whenever I go back to those journals and look at, the things I've written, maybe months later or a year later or 2 years later, I find out that those things have already happened. And why did they happen? Was because I spoke those words, I believed them, I trusted that those words would go out and they were going to accomplish the purpose I'd set it for, and I didn't do anything to contradict what I had said. So, you need to learn to say the right words to yourself. Be kind to yourself with your words. Speak positive words to yourself. Then speak what you want to see into being. Speak them like you already have it. Behave like you already have it. You already are experiencing that you want. Be careful what people say to you, what you let into your life. Whatever you do not want, do not accept. When people tell you what you do not want, refute it immediately. No, this is not for me. This is not what I want. This cannot happen to me. This is what I want. And then you replace it with what you want. When you're able to consciously make sure that your words are always positive, are always in line with what you want, and you make sure that the words you let into your life with your permission are the kind of words that are also in line with what you want out of your life, your reality is on its way to changing. So take a chance with me today and start speaking the right words into your life. Being intentional about the things that you say, knowing fully well that you're creating the reality that you live in. And I know that in a few months, you'll be telling me about how much your life has changed. So this is where I end it today. And until next week, speak what you want to see into your life. Bye-bye.